everyone. Welcome to a brand new episode of Triple Threat. We are so glad that you guys joined us. We are the all talk, no music show on YouTube about the Beatles, The Who, Pink Floyd, and other stuff that we like. My name is Tom Urrutia, and joining me are the usual cast of crazies, Mr. Garrett Hicks.
What's up, y'all?
Miss Becca Cristino.
Poppin'.
And wait, did I say and? Are we adding a fourth person today? You are certainly right. We are. We'd like to welcome Savannah Valdez. Welcome, Savannah.
Hello. Happy to be here.
So for those of you who might be wondering, why are we adding a fourth person? Well, we wanted to have some fun and shake things up a little bit. With us being dedicated Who fans, we decided that today is the biggest challenge we've probably ever faced without actually reviewing an album like, I don't know, It's Hard or something.
Oh no.
That's gonna happen at some point.
It's gonna
God
happen.
Rest our souls.
Yeah, but not
Thank you.
But not today. Today, we decided to play a fun game. A couple years ago, Rolling Stone magazine put out a list. It was a whole Who-related special edition, and in there, they ranked their top 50 Who songs. And pretty cool, so we decided to figure out what is the best of the best. And so we can't re-rank all 50 of them, so what we decided to do is take the top 32 and do a little bracket and pick which one is the best. Why 32? Well, it's simply divisible by 2. Otherwise, we would have come out with a really odd number, and the whole thing would have, the whole thing would have been a mess.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So the three of us, Becca, Garrett, and I, are going to be putting songs against songs, finding out which one is going to come out on top. And we have Savannah here as our neutral third party to put the bracket together. We have not seen what she has put together, so she only knows which songs are going up together in each round. So before we start, Savannah, thank you so much for doing this for us.
You're very welcome.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, so we have a couple of rounds, obviously, to get rid of a number of songs. So how this is going to work is Savannah's going to list off the 2 songs that are pit against each other, and then she'll go around and she'll say, this person go first. We'll cast our votes, and then whichever song simply gets 2 out of 3 votes, we'll move on. Pretty simple stuff, but like I said, it might be a little bit challenging since we are...
Come on, Tom. We know how a bracket works. Let's get on with it.
It's like March Madness, but there's no sports and it's April.
So it's not like March Madness at all.
It's April screaming.
There will still likely be some madness.
Drop little April screaming.
Classic Disney reference.
Thank you.
The best way to start a Who bracket.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah. Since we're already on this silliness, I'll go ahead and pass it over to Savannah. Savannah, would you kindly take it away for us?
Okay, so how it goes is this tournament per se is going to be divided into 5 parts. The first part has 16 brackets, 2 songs each, 32 songs. Part 2 has 8 brackets with 2 songs each, and then it just goes on and on until we get to the 5th part where there are 2 songs left standing. So how I arrange the songs, I originally had a system for arranging these songs to go head to head, but then I said, screw the system, and I decided to arrange these on my own. I basically arranged it like a playlist per se in terms of bracket and also in terms of which songs are going up against each other. So 2 songs that I think are upbeat are going against each other, 2 songs that are a bit more chill or simple are going together. And that was also done because I know you guys are professionals, but I didn't want it to be like 1 upbeat song and 1 simple song are going head to head and you're like, I'm in an upbeat mood, I'm going to choose the upbeat song. No. Like 2 upbeat is fair, and it makes you really have to look at and argue over which one's the best, or which one did something different, or which one did something better.
Oh, I'm so glad you put some thought into
I
this.
love this. This is so good.
She's going to make us
It's
really work.
challenging though, because I did the most homework because it's like half of these songs I never heard. So I was going on YouTube, like trying to listen, like, okay, I think I'm getting the groove of this song. I think it'll go stack up against this one. So
Welcome to our nightmare brains, Savannah. Your little visit.
Oh, dude, I am souped for this. Let's go for it.
Yeah, nightmare indeed. She's going to make us work for it. So with all of that said, Savannah, please kindly reveal what is our very first matchup.
gladly. So bracket 1, we have the song My Generation from the Who's album My Generation, going up against The Real Me from Quadrophenia.
No. Oh, God.
Off the bat, you were not kidding.
I'm making it work for it.
Oh, boy.
Savannah, who should start this one?
Um,
Make
you know
it so.
what, ladies first, so how about Becca?
All right. Brain hurty, but here we go. Well, I personally have a very, very special spot in my heart for The Real Me. When you take it out of the context of knowing what quadrophenia is and knowing like the concept and story that the album is supposed to tell, almost like a play, a lot of times concept record songs don't survive as well outside of the record. So even if this one was the single and could be played on its own and slaps, My Generation is a phenomenal standalone song. For its time, like cultural impact wise, it was a bigger deal and made more of a lasting print. So between what it does for what the song it is, how well it stands alone as its own song, and its cultural significance, I'm gonna say My Generation.
All right, here we go. Garrett, you're next.
Yeah, okay. Oh, God. This is tough already. Great, thank you. I think I'm going to have to go with Becca on this one because, like, as great as The Real Me is, and this is an interesting matchup because this is The Who from, like, 8 years apart, where they grew a lot in those 8 years. And Quadrophenia, I think, has some of the best musicianship ever on record. And a lot of that is evident in The Real Me. You know, My Generation has a bitchin' bass solo, but The Real Me is a bass solo with a song attached.
Yep, I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah. But Becca's right. The cultural impact and just solid punchiness and just everything thrown at the wall with My Generation is too big to ignore. And while The Real Me is not a bad song by any stretch, it's just, you're right. It is a little bit hampered by the concept, but at the same time, I think it can stand alone a little better than you've given it credit for, because it's just like My Generation. It's just a great anthem of angst.
This is fair.
Yeah, of saying like nobody understands me, and that's bullshit. But My Generation did it first, and My Generation did it a step better.
Yeah. There you go.
All right. So with that, My Generation is obviously the winner. But Tom, I'm passing it over to you to say, would you have also chosen My Generation, or would you have been the rebel and gone with The Real Me?
I would have gone with My Generation for the same reasons you guys said. Honestly, like whatever I pick doesn't matter because My Generation has won anyway. But it would have been my pick.
All right.
Hell yeah.
Good deal. Good deal. Okay, so My Generation has won that round. On to the next one. And for bracket 2, we have the song Substitute, and that is going up against the song So Sad About Us from A Quick One.
Ooh.
This hurts me.
All right, so who's gonna suffer first, Savannah?
How about you, Tom?
Oh, me.
I'm sucker buddy.
Hanging in the last one, so yeah.
All right. Oh man, you know what? I didn't really appreciate So Sad About Us until like really recently. It was probably because Garrett and I have actually performed this song, and like this song is like it's fun to play and it's fun to harmonize with. But in terms of which one is the indeed better song, I really just have to go with Substitute. There's nothing wrong with So Sad About Us at all, but Substitute really. I've said this before on our Live at Leeds episode. Let's just go check that out. But I sort of classified Substitute as like one of the defining songs of punk, even if the Who didn't even know it at that time.
Ooh, that's a hot take, but honestly,
Yeah.
And like for that alone, you know, birthing a whole musical genre. But that's probably gonna be like my main reason for picking Substitute. It's also a great song, great riffs, great lyrics. Substitute gets my vote.
All right. Good deal. Good deal. Garrett, on to you now. What is your decision?
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go with So Sad About Us on this one.
Oh.
Because
intriguing.
Yeah, because
ooh.
I kind of think of these. I think they're pretty similar in quality, in my opinion. Substitute is clearly the one that's more well known because it's had so many people cover it, especially like the Ramones and the Sex Pistols and all those shitty punk bands. And
How dare you? Anyway.
But So Sad About Us, it's like to me this is the Who's version of All My Loving by the Beatles, because when I listen to this one I feel joyful, which is weird about a breakup song, but
Very.
it's just the bouncy riff and the really simple harmonies and everything about it just really just brings me up inside. And while Substitute is not bad, at the same time, it has those and I can't really. I guess I just have to mention it, even though it shouldn't make any kind of impact on this vote. But live versions are shorter, and that's not okay. That's unacceptable.
Because they gotta go fast, man.
Yeah, and on side note, the So Sad About Us live version with Paul Weller is beautiful and gorgeous, and I wouldn't have it any other way. So Sad About Us gets my vote. It's close.
Yeah, I know. That just leaves Becca. Yours is the deciding vote between Substitute and So Sad About Us.
See, this is a personal attack because these are both easily within like probably even my top 5 Who songs, like personal favorite.
Wow.
Because it's hard but important to compartmentalize favorite from like best.
Yeah.
It's a weird nuance. And while I think So Sad About Us is more edged out as my personal favorite, Substitute kind of wins out.
That's what I expected.
Yeah.
You tried, though.
And you brought up some wonderful points. I mean, it's...
Yeah.
And as someone who has been dumped literally like 80 billion times, like, So Sad About Us really does the job that music is existentially supposed to do, of making you feel less alone and, like, painting the colors of an emotion that are tougher to put into words. Like, it really does capture the bittersweetness of a young love breakup. It's perfect for what it is.
I ain't mad.
Cutthroat, baby, cutthroat.
All right, so get ready for bracket 3, and this involves 2 songs that I had never really heard of that I had to look up, but they're both very good in their own unique way.
Oh, we're gonna get to obscurities? Hell yeah.
Kind of, like at least for me. So the first one is Blue, Red, and Gray from The Who by Numbers, and the second song is Sunrise from The Who Sell Out.
Oh, no.
I heard all over!
And we're
You paired these up so well!
Yay, I'm doing my job.
Who's got to pair these 2 melancholy songs?
Garrett, how about you go first?
Okay. Both of these songs are gorgeous, highlighting Pete as a vocalist and guitarist, sometimes ukulelist. I think I'm going to give the edge to Blue, Red, and Gray here. Because while Sunrise is great with the Baroque style guitar playing, the riff that would eventually become Pinball Wizard hidden in there, and just a heartbreaking kind of story and melody in there. Blue, Red, and Gray is it's too pretty to lose. It's one of those things that's just like I can't help but be happy when I listen to it. It's one of those very comforting sort of songs, and it has gotten me through a lot personally in my life. So I'm gonna go with Blue, Red, and Gray here. Extra props to John Entwistle for putting in the brass on that one. Just giving that extra.
Tom, you're up next. What is your choice?
Mine would definitely be Blue, Red, and Gray over Sunrise. Blue, Red, and Gray is so pretty, and the weird thing is that's another song that I didn't really love it until fairly recently, maybe because I have a ukulele and I started to play it, and it's actually a fun song to play because it uses some pretty unconventional ukulele chord changes. If anyone out there plays ukulele knows what I mean, but Blue, Red, and Gray just really packs more of a punch than Sunrise to me, so that's my pick.
All right. Well, Becca, like if you, and you can, would you have chosen Blue, Red, and Gray too, or would you have gone with Sunrise?
I would have absolutely gone with Blue, Red, and Gray.
Nice.
As a firm believer in the perfectly crafted, concise pop song, Blue, Red, and Gray accomplishes a more mature version of the feeling of Sunrise, and in less time and in more concise, poignant lyrics. Like it's a perfect example of what we were saying the mission is with these being paired up the way they are, is that it accomplishes the same thing but better.
Mm-hmm.
Right on.
What before we move on, what number was Sunrise at? I'm actually surprised that was in the top 32.
It's kind of funny because so far you have chosen songs that have ranked slightly higher. For example, My Generation was number 3 on the list, Substitute number 11, and Blue, Red, and Gray was number 17. And to answer your question, Tom, Sunrise was number 24.
So far, we're being predictable.
Yeah.
Kind of.
That's fine.
But let's
Maybe that will change though with this fourth bracket.
Oh dear God, here we go.
See?
The first song is Love Reign Over Me from Quadrophenia, going up against Behind Blue Eyes
Oh,
from...
don't do this to me.
An easy one. Thank you.
Damn it.
You're talking to like the ultimate Quadrophenia nerd here, and
Oh, boy.
we all love both of these songs, and we got to do it. So pick your poison, Savannah.
All right. Becca, how about you go first?
It's been the easiest choice for me this whole thing so far. Love Reign Over Me, hands down.
All right.
Hands down. It's a beautifully crafted piece of music. Going back to that point about concepts, in my opinion, it is the song from Quadrophenia that stands alone on its own the best. Absolutely just gorgeously crafted song. Shows where the Who had evolved to by that point. And also, I just don't like Behind Blue Eyes. I just never have. I don't like it.
You really are Keith Moon, because Keith Moon didn't like that one because he didn't play on the first half of it.
Yeah, no. I mean, he, like, just did some BS. Like, that's just...
All right.
There we go. That's the final answer.
All right, good deal. I would say I'm almost tempted to like say, Garrett, are you up to making this decision? Do you know? Okay, I won't force you.
It's hurting so bad.
So Tom, I'm moving on to you then, Tom. Like, what is your choice?
All right. Well, since Garrett is physically hurt, he is just lying back in his chair, not moving. I will be the one to revive him and say, don't worry, I will also pick Love Reign Over Me. That way we don't have to really pit the two against each other for a tiebreaker. It's hard. And oh, there he is. It worked.
Welcome back to the planet.
Yeah. But it's not easy, and because Behind Blue Eyes and Love Reign Over Me are both beautiful songs, and Behind Blue Eyes, I would argue, is the more well-known of the two. It's definitely featured more on compilations and higher on some lists, but Love Reign Over Me, for the reasons that Becca has said, is such a beautiful song. It probably is one of the songs from Quadrophenia that can stand alone. It's really tough, but I think Love Reign Over Me will edge out just a little bit, and also just because I want to be a good friend and not have Garrett make a decision. And
yeah,
so,
I was about to say, like, it's obvious that Love Reign Over Me wins, but, like, Garrett, do you want to put in your 2 cents, or do you just want to pass? Okay, so which would you have chosen?
Thinking about it. Thinking long and hard. Full disclosure, these are my top 2 Who songs.
oh damn.
Uh-oh.
So
Oh, no.
you came out swinging there, but
Oh, boy.
Savannah.
Man, right?
I have a long history with Behind Blue Eyes. It used to be my favorite. And a big part of that was that it was my ex-girlfriend's favorite song. And even after we broke up, it still is one of my favorite Who songs ever. It runs the gamut of emotions, and the harmonies on it are fantastic. But Love Reign Over Me is just, I guess it is better in pretty much every way. Because it's got more emotion, it's got a better guitar solo, it's got the big finish, and it's on the best album of all time ever, Fight Me.
Correct.
So yeah, I guess I'll make it unanimous.
All right. So for bracket 5, there's I Can See for Miles from The Who Sell Out versus The Kids Are All Right from My Generation.
Ooh. Oh,
Ouch.
damn.
Ouch, ouch, ouch.
Oh, boy.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
Damn. I mean,
Sufferdome.
I really have to give the edge to I Can See for Miles, because it was the best production they had done up to that point. And I think one of the best songs that Pete had definitely written up to that point. There is absolutely nothing wrong with The Kids Are All Right. We all love it. We all love singing it and playing it if we are guitar players. and both songs are kind of opposite each other. Kids Are Alright is saying, I don't mind if other guys dance with my girl, that's fine. But I Can See for Miles, it's like, you've been with some other guys, I can see right through you. And it's a different side of the coin. And I Can See for Miles has a dirty sounding production. And Pete Townsend was right to make the interview where he's like, oh, it's the dirtiest, loudest, rockinest song we've ever made. I'm like, it is damn up there. And that guitar solo is just so intimidating. Yeah, I got to go with I Can See for Miles.
All right. Good deal. Garrett.
I'm going with Kids Are Alright.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Second time this has happened.
Yeah.
You're contrarian over here, my guy. Woo-wee.
Not just for the sake of it, but
No, I know.
I never really understood why people said that I Can See for Miles is the nastiest, grungiest thing that The Who had done to that point. I mean, I guess it was, but at the same time, I came into it listening, having heard stuff that came out in the 90s and 2000s when I started listening to The Who, having already heard Helter Skelter, which was inspired by that comment. And not even taking that into account, it's just, I Can See for Miles has just generally kind of been there for me. Not a favorite, but I don't hate it. Kids Are Alright I have always loved it. From the first chord and the first harmony all the way through to the end. Doesn't matter if it's the edited version or not. It's freaking perfect, man. The ringing chords, the beautiful harmonies, the simple lyrics. It all just rings so true. And it's just so much fun to sing. Not that I Can See for Miles isn't, but it's a tough decision, really. But I'm going to go with The Kids Are Alright.
All right. So that leaves Becca as the tiebreaker.
Okay. This hurts me physically.
Oh, boy.
Because it's one of my absolute favorites paired against one that has never really been a personal favorite, but we're getting into technicalities here. Again, like as the proponent of the well-crafted, concise, perfect pop song, like being brainwashed by power pop and delving into Big Star after growing from the three that we are basing our musical home in on this show. Like, The Kids Are Alright edges out as a personal favorite in my heart of hearts. But since we're talking about what made The Who, and what is like one of the top Who songs, Kids Are Alright, like, first time I heard it, I was like, is this the Kinks? Like, because I was dumb and I didn't know any better. It's one of those ones where it is a staple of what was 60s British invasion pop, but it's not a staple of what made The Who, other than it being one of their breakout singles. I Can See for Miles is a milestone in them getting grittier and then exploring weirder tempos and rhythms more. It's like a turning point almost of them evolving towards the direction that their sound evolved into. So I'm gonna have to go with I Can See for Miles.
All right, so I Could See for Miles wins.
Hey,
Not
hey,
mad.
Man, just disappointed.
I'm not mad, just disappointed.
I mean, this wasn't easy for any of us, but we have our next round.
So,
Of course, if it's like this and like the first part of it, I can't wait for what else is coming.
Gonna hurt. I'm so ready.
Get the Rocky theme music ready.
Oh my god.
You ready to take away with round 6?
Yep. Here we go. So for bracket 6, I've got the song Won't Get Fooled Again from Who's Next, going up against Who Are You from album of the same name, Who Are You?
Won't Get Fooled Again versus Who Are You? All right. This should be an interesting one.
Yes. And would you like to go first, Tom?
Sure, why not? I guess it won't be a surprise that I'm going to go with Won't Get Fooled Again over Who Are You, only because Who Are You, I don't know, like between the two, Won't Get Fooled Again, I think just packs a bigger punch, both musically and just lyrically. I know Who Are You deals with like identity and you, I guess, in the changing times, but Won't Get Fooled Again is kind of the same thing. It's like the times are changing all around you, but like, is anything really changing? Meet the new boss, same as the old boss. And even though Won't Get Fooled Again is longer, it never really feels like it's 8.5 minutes. Yeah, I'm going to pick Won't Get Fooled Again.
All right, good deal. Becca, what is your vote?
It's a good pick.
Like, my heart of hearts tells me to go with Who Are You?
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
All right. Any particular reason?
I like it.
It's a good song.
Both. It's very like this is a tough one, but like just because the two are so similar in sound and content, like and impact. That's like those three dimensions that we've been kind of judging the other ones on are like so evenly matched with these two.
Yeah.
I just had to go with the one that like gives me a chill down my spine the second I hear it every time. Like the second it starts off, I'm like, crank it. Like it's like it gets me viscerally every time. It has not gotten old.
Nice. Yeah. All right, so Garrett, for once, you are now the deciding vote.
For a second, I thought this was going to be another one where it's like, well, Garrett, it's up to you, so what you had to think. Even though, because both of us already chose something that was the clear winner. But now on to tiebreaker. Okay. This is a tough matchup. Very, I mean, the obvious answer is Won't Get Fooled Again. Whether it's, the one that's lasted longer in their set, the one that's like the definitive set closer, the one that has the meme.
The meme!
The meme.
For being in CSI. They've both been in CSI as theme songs. And Won't Get Fooled Again has that drum break that's pretty much a drum solo. But I think I'm also going to go with Who Are You?
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Our very first upset.
Yeah.
Yeah, really.
Who'd have thought that Won't Get Fooled Again would go down in a first round bracket?
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, Who Are You is fantastic in the way that it has grown, I think, as a live song more than Won't Get Fooled Again has. There's great variations of live versions of Won't Get Fooled Again. I especially like the one they did in the last version that they ever recorded with Keith, because it actually like gets quiet in a section of it, which is like, wait, Won't Get Fooled Again gets quiet in a part, but it works. Who Are You started with a great vocal track. No one can deny that Roger Daltrey was firing on all cylinders in 1977-78 when he recorded it. But as the years have gone by, he's found different ways to put character into the lyrics that make them stand out even more. Won't Get Fooled Again, he has said that he doesn't feel it when he sings it anymore. And while that's not obvious at all, yeah, Who Are You has been the one that resonated with me more immediately. It always has. With its concept of identity and just feeling down, but also staying positive. It's a great, I think of Who Are You as a comeback record for The Who, and the statement is made with the title track. Won't Get Fooled Again is a fucking anthem. It will always stand as like the most well-known Who song. But I'm going to go with Who Are You as well. So, wow, an upset. Who'd have thought?
Yeah, really.
Not only an upset, but like literally
Be upset.
The biggest scale ones possible in
Yeah,
Yeah.
really. It's like kind of very bottom of the list beats the one that was at the top.
Yeah. Like, was Won't Get Fooled Again number one?
Yeah, it was number one. And
This
then
is about
Who
as
Are
upset as an
You is
upset can
31.
be.
Yeah.
Shit.
Rolling Stone.
That's
All
amazing.
right. And with that, now we move on to bracket 7, which
Let's do
involves it involves A Quick One While He's Away from the album A Quick One versus Happy Jack, also from A Quick One. And it should be known to the audience that A Quick One While He's Away has two versions. There's the studio version that apparently no one really cares for, and the live version from, was it Rolling Stone Circus or something? That's known as the definitive version.
The only one. We're going to be talking about
everything.
We're going to be talking about A quick one, live from the Rock and Roll Circus versus
Nice.
Happy Jack.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh man.
All right. So with that, Becca, do you want to go first?
I keep getting to go first for like all of my literal quickest answers because if we're going for this specific live version of a quick one, hands down, like one of the peak Who recordings ever of all time. Like that, to borrow the term from the last response, absolutely firing on all cylinders. Like they are just, they just come in swinging and are having fun on the stage as well. And like the interactions between the group are priceless while trading the spoken lines of the story of the song. The live version takes on that Who grittiness while still taking on the melody and the storytelling. Like it's just a perfect combination. And Happy Jack is like fine.
Nice.
There we go.
All right. Garrett, what say you, sir?
I'd say the same.
Yeah.
Because yeah, Happy Jack it's a good little fun song. And not even little. It's a good statement. It shows that the Who can do something more than just poppy love songs. They can also get away with saying literally nothing, because Happy Jack is nonsense.
No, it makes no sense. It's about nothing.
And at the same time, it's like super British with the melody. It's quintessentially dum 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 dum. That's so UK. But
Big time.
a quick one is that and then some at the same time, because not only is it like 3 or 4 times as long, but it also shows some real growth in the band as well, because they're going in talking about, let's tell a story with music. Let's get back to that tradition of musicals, basically, which would eventually lead into them capitalizing on that with rock operas like Tommy, and they were going to do it with Lifehouse and then ended up doing it on Quadrophenia. And it's such a great portent of things to come while also being the best that they can be put to tape. So yeah, quick one, hands down.
Nice. And while it is the obvious winner, Tom, I'm going to allow you to say your piece, if you have any, over which song you would have picked.
Yeah, it would have been my pick. Happy Jack, I agree with you both. It's fine. I don't hate it, but every time I listen to it, I'll enjoy listening to it, and then that's it. Whereas a quick one leads away. Any version I can take except the studio version. It just builds in power. It's one of the best things they've done, and a great example of them as a band. They can go out in the Rock and Roll Circus, do just that one song, and everyone thinks they did better than literally everyone else who performed. And so much so that it said the Rolling Stones didn't release that concert for like 20 or 30 years. They probably did it for other reasons, but still, the Who do a great version on that live performance. It would have been my pick.
All right.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, I kind of like figured that y'all might go with the live version, and if so, it probably would have won out. But still, I wanted to throw it out there, just give it a chance. And now we're moving on to number 8. Again, kind of 2 obscure songs, at least for me. So the first one is Getting in Tune from Who's Next, going up against How Many Friends from the Who by Numbers.
I don't know about you guys, but I already have my answer.
Yep.
Yeah, I know you do, Mr. Piano Man.
So with
That's
that, Tom,
me.
how about you go first, since you already have it?
Well, Mr. Piano Man, that's me. I'm going with Getting in Tune, not just because it has piano, but it's a weird love song. I say weird because like it's kind of disguised as a love song until you really read into it, and it's beautiful. And I love the production on it, the build up in Getting in Tune, how it just builds from a simple piano to the band just giving it all full throttle at the end. Yeah, Getting in Tune is my pick. I'm sorry if it was obvious, but that's my pick.
Yeah. All right, so let's see. Garrett, how about you go next?
When you first said this lineup, this matchup, I was like, okay. They, again, picking similar stuff, which does it better? These don't have the same, like, topic, really. The content is very different. One is a love song, and one of them is, very existential and contemplative. I think I will go with Getting in Tune, mainly for the reason that when I thought of these, the melody lines pop into my head. for the verse and chorus and everything. And for a second, I didn't remember how the verse and How Many Friends went.
Ouch.
It came to me after a little while, but I thought immediately, like, I think that's a pretty good rule of thumb.
It has to be
You know,
memorable.
yeah. And even if it's not memorable, as a song as a whole, How Many Friends is very good. But I don't think it's his best, and I think he's aware of that. But yeah, Getting in Tune, it's from Who's Next. That they were, at that time, at their peak as an artist, I think.
Yeah.
Or at least approaching it. I think Quadrophenia is better. So, yeah, I'm going with Getting in Tune. There's nothing to complain about on that song.
All right.
Except it might be a little bit long. We'll see.
All right. Even though Getting in Tune is the obvious winner, Becca, would you have chosen the song or would you have gone with How Many Friends?
I totally would have gone with Getting in Tune. We're going to keep it obvious here. It's the better song.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, then. So that's 8 down and about 8 more to go. So
Yeah, we're getting there. Yes.
Let's do it.
we are. Okay, so bracket number 9. The first song for bracket 9 is We're Not Gonna Take It / See Me, Feel Me from Tommy, but the version that Rolling Stones specifies is the Live at Leeds performance. And that is going up against Pure and Easy from Who's Next.
Oh, damn.
We should say the Who's Next sessions. It came out on Odds and Sods, but but still, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
This one actually requires a lot more thinking for me than I thought.
Yeah.
Brain hurty.
Well, Savannah, pick your poison again.
How about Garrett?
Hey,
Let's hear your thoughts on this.
my thoughts are a train wreck right now. Pick someone else. I'm gonna have to think about this for a minute.
Oh yeah, okay.
For real.
Becca, then we'll toss it over to you for right now, and then we'll come back to Garrett.
All right. Well, I think the part that makes this so tough is specifying the Live at Leeds version, because the album version doesn't capture the emotions of We're Not Gonna Take It and See Me, Feel Me adequately.
This is a good point.
It's a very, like, I mean, on the record, this is like the big climactic finale where all of the like cult followers are like, Tommy's a sham, like, let's get out of here, this is a cult, this is dumb. And then like See Me, Feel Me is that like explosion of emotion at the end that this boy, this scared little boy inside of this grown-ass man now, literally just wanted to be seen and heard and loved. And it's this big outpouring at the end, which takes on a better life live. And it's such a crucial piece of the story. Pure and Easy is such a nice song and would have been such a crucial part of the story of Lifehouse had it come together.
I agree with that. Yeah, definitely.
So they're both like cornerstones of the story they were trying to tell.
Mm-hmm.
But live, like that time period was when the Who were on the rise. It's just absolute monsters live. So while Pure and Easy has like a very, very large corner of my heart, I'm going to have to go with the Live at Leeds.
All right. There we go. Garrett, do you feel like you're up to making a decision? All right, let's hear it.
Yeah.
Come on, Garrett,
Okay.
bring the thunder.
Thank you for putting into words the jumble of emotions that I was going through just now, Becca.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm also gonna go with We're Not Gonna Take It, because like not even the first half of that, I always feel the need to separate We're Not Gonna Take It from See Me, Feel Me. But because it wraps these two together, thinking about it as a whole in context, Pure and Easy is the one that gets stuck in my head more often, I will say.
This is valid.
And it's a great song with a wonderful soaring melody, and it grows and changes in weird ways. Like the bridge is great, the coda is really nice, but you're right. The We're Not Gonna Take It, See Me, Feel Me, Sweet is such an emotional 1-2 punch that I can't ignore that, because at the end of the day, it really is just a kid who's there saying all I ever wanted was to be loved, and that breaks my heart. And there's something about the story that I really relate to. It's just, yeah, I can't go with anything else. And then on top of that, freaking, it's got to be the Live at Leeds version, because the studio version, while good, is just, it fades out. how do you do that? You play it live, and it becomes not just a sentence, but a statement. So we're not going to take it. Live wins it for me.
There you
All
go.
right. And it wins the whole round, but I want to give Tom the chance to say anything. Would you have also chosen We're Not Going to Take It Live It Leads, Tom?
I would have indeed, for the same reasons you guys said. Go ahead and make it unanimous. And Becca brought up a good point. Like, Pure and Easy is a really well-crafted song that summarizes Lifehouse. Good point there. And Garrett mentioned it's a really flowing melody. Good point there. But Lifehouse didn't come together. And, like, that's kind of, like, ultimately thinking, like, had Lifehouse somehow been completed, Pure and Easy would have been, like, the culmination, along with, like, Won't Get Fooled Again, like, the two main songs from that project. So nowadays, 40 years later, we would have been like, Pure and Easy, such a great song because it captures Lifehouse so well because it all comes together.
Yeah.
And like, it didn't really come together, but you can still kind of get the story. Whereas We're Not Going to Take It, you're right. It comes after the story's already been told, and it just leaves you on such a great statement. I'm going to go with We're Not Going to Take It. And I do agree, the live version only gets better. While I do like the studio version, and that's a song that just kind of got better, especially in live versions, they would often make it go faster. It just, it's just so cool.
Speed ups and slowdowns are just such a good tool. But that's another ramble for another day when we focus more on songs.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to get through this massive wealth of emotional hurt. Let's go.
Let's go. Next.
All right, so moving on to bracket 10. In this bracket, we have the song Sparks from Tommy, going up against Tattoo from The Who Sellouts.
Oh.
What a weird mashup, an instrumental.
And it's especially weird for those who are listening. Sparks is a mostly instrumental song. Like, I think it's just purely instrumental. So yeah, it's definitely one of the things that it was like really odd, but they were kind of sort of similar. So it's like, okay, just put them together. That'll be the odd one, I guess.
Sparks versus Tattoo. Again, this is gonna be another one that I'm gonna think about.
Savannah, these brackets are really good.
These are
Thank
amazing.
you.
Because I am enraged right now that I have to put these two head to head this early.
So I guess you're not going first. I was going to call you to give you. Okay. Tom, do you want to go first?
Sure. I'll bite the bullet and go first. Oh, ow. Okay.
You're hurting.
This does hurt. And like, even before this round, I was doing the Star Wars quote. I got a bad feeling about this. I was just like, we have a couple rounds left in this first round, but Sparks for Tattoo is very interesting because I think these were two songs that, looking at them now and hearing them in my head, that were really, I don't want to use the word essential, but they were really something at the time. Like Tattoo, especially when they play it live, both songs when they play them live became also really good songs. Tattoo has a really cool story, and Sparks somehow has a story without having any lyrics in it. So this is kind of tough, but I'm going to give the slight edge to Sparks, because I think Sparks packs more of a musical punch, where Tattoo, it sounds really nice, and of course it's still packed with "Welcome to my life, Tattoo," bam, bam, whereas Sparks is just bam, 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 the whole time, and it tells the story, because the song we're saying that is Amazing Journey. You could argue that Sparks really is the Amazing Journey put to music, and it just packs a punch. Slight bias, I guess, but I'm trying not to let this impact. That's also an Almost Famous, when the main character just loves music in general, and that's the song he plays, and they say, "Play Tommy while you light a candle, and you'll know everything." I'm going to give the slight edge to Sparks. I'm sorry, Tattoo. I'm really sorry.
It's okay. I'm sure Tattoo will forgive you. Becca, moving on to you. Can you not?
Oh, Sparks.
Are you choosing Sparks?
Absolutely. It's just,
All right.
I mean, Tom really described it well. It captures a whole story in just music. It is one of those quintessential, like, textbook examples of how music can capture something beyond words. It's a perfect example of that. And it's one of my favorite instrumentals ever. And this is coming from someone who has basically stuck their head up their own ass in the world of Pink Floyd for at least 10 years of their lifespan. So that's saying something. So Sparks, absolutely.
All right, good deal. And Garrett, would you like to say your piece on the matter?
Yeah, Sparks.
Yes. Right.
No.
Let's not
Yes.
dwell on it. Let's just move on.
Yeah. This isn't even like a resigned, yeah, might as well. It's like, while you guys were talking about it, I was thinking and saying, yeah, Sparks is more economic as far as songcraft storytelling goes. And also, like, have you heard orchestral versions of Sparks? They're f***ing amazing.
Oh, I'll bet.
I'll send you
Crying.
some. I'll send you some files, Becca. It's whoa.
I can't wait to cry. Thank you very much.
Oh. All
That should be the
right.
tagline of this whole bracket thing. I cannot wait to cry.
Really.
Definitely.
Pain. You love it.
All right, so here we go on to bracket number 11. Now, y'all may see this as another, like, odd one, but it is what it is. So, first we have The Seeker from Endless Wire going up against You Better You Bet from Face Dances.
The Seeker is a single, not Endless Wire, but
Oh, really? Huh.
yeah.
More you
It
know.
was released as a bonus track, live version, but yeah,
Weird.
it's a single. So the single, The Seeker versus You Better You Bet. Well,
Do I let my bias trash this one, or do I like try to think with a big brain?
Right.
yeah. Do you want me to go first to kind of give you guys a little bit of time?
Sure.
Please.
Because
All
this is
right.
another. Because this is another one that like it's very tough, but I'm going to give a slight edge. And believe it or not, I'm going to get the slight edge to You Better You Bet over the Seeker, and I'll explain why. Because You Better You Bet is the first song that The Who released after Keith Moon tragically passed away, and I'm sure as a Who fan in 1982, when that album, that single came out, there was anticipation, but also concern. Like, you heard about this guy, Kenny Jones, he's a pretty good drummer, but like, how is he going to, and he was a friend of Keith Moon's, like, how is he going to match up and do a song with The Who? And then You Better You Bet's the first single, and it's the first track on the album, Face Dances. And just from the opening guitar, when it comes in, you kind of just get to be like, okay, yeah, these guys aren't going away. They're coming back with good music and got some really nice harmony on it. I think Roger has a really good vocal performance for this, pop song, quote unquote. It's a really good vocal performance, and I think I've said this before, but this is a song that I wish Keith Moon had lived to drum on. Then again, I just wish Keith Moon was alive in general. But this is a song I wish he were alive to drum on because he loves pop music. And has some really cool drum fills, and also the whole thing about open legs. Keith Moon would have had a field day with that. So, whereas The Seeker, it's the band doing their thing, and it was sort of like it was the single after Tommy, so in a way, sort of a comeback single, quote unquote, because it was the first thing they did since then. But I think in terms of comeback, You Better You Bet has a bigger comeback, so I'm gonna get the slight edge to You Better You Bet.
All right, good deal. Garrett, your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm also gonna go with You Better You Bet.
All right. Interesting.
The Seeker is great, man. Like, as far as rock songs with country tinge on it, you can't really get better than The Seeker. The riff is fantastic. Roger's vocal performance is amazing. This is the first time that he'd been in the studio since playing Tommy live, and the growth is palpable. It's got great lyrics that are also, spiritual, talking about, I love the line, you're looking for me, I'm looking for you, we're looking in at each other, and we don't know what to do. That says so much more than the words on the page. But You Better You Bet, it has its own weight to it, as Tom talked about. And it's also, there's this hope in it, because this is The Who coming off the greatest tragedy they ever faced as a band, and saying, you know what, we see it, we got this, we're dealing with it, and we're going to come out on the other side. And You Better You Bet is one of those songs that they still play live. They don't really play The Seeker live anymore because they all love it. Also, side note, they have played The Seeker live in recent years, but I don't think it's grown as well as You Better You Bet has. Again, you've got Roger experimenting with vocal lines and doing different things that work amazingly well. The Seeker has only gotten worse as it's been played live in recent years, unfortunately. thinking about all of those aspects, yeah, You Better You Bet wins it.
All right. So it wins the whole round, but Becca, like, would you have chosen You Better You Bet, or would you have gone with The Seeker?
I was really, really grappling with this one. Like, this was one of the harder ones for me until Tom brought up the point about the weight. Because just like I had kind of brought in the cultural significance for my generation, that's the same point here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Good deal. All right. So You Better You Bet wins. And this is kind of another upset because You Better You Bet was ranked number 32 on the list, whereas The Seeker was 22.
Nice. Yeah, and this is probably one of like probably just two post Keith songs that's gonna make it further on, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, let's see. Going on to bracket 12, we have Magic Bus from the album The Who Hits 50 versus Illegal Matter from My Generation.
Let Becca go first on this one.
Yeah.
Sorry, Becca, only just I know your feelings towards one of these songs.
Yeah.
But even with those feelings towards that song in particular, for those of you keeping score at home, I've yelled about how like silly and dumb I find Magic Bus to be many times. Many times. I've screamed about it with these two too many times to count. But like it beats out Legal Matter.
Really?
It beats out Illegal Matter. Illegal Matter is a clever song that tackles like the topic of divorce. Like it's another one of those clever lyrics 60s songs. But Magic Bus was like, I don't know. I can't.
It grew.
It grew. It had more, and it had more room to grow, and room for them to kind of experiment with it and mess with it. Whereas Illegal Matter was very cut and dry. This is what it is. So in terms of like musicality and a better crafted song that was able to kind of grow and change with the artist, Magic Bus.
All right. Cool. Tom, moving on to you. Do you have a decision?
Click, 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 click.
Yeah.
I will go with Magic Bus as well. Like I legitimately thought about this, and I was like, Legal Matter could beat it because I think Legal Matter is a better lyric song, but in terms of a song that grows, it's got to be Magic Bus. Legal Matter is just on the record, and then that's it. So I'm gonna go with Magic Bus. Clickety
All
click.
right.
I think for me the biggest thing that stands out in this matchup is how wildly different these songs are. Because as Tom and Becca said, Legal Matter just exists as its own as a studio track. I don't think they ever played it live, and if they did, there's no recording of it officially. And Magic Bus has so many different iterations over the years. Legal Matter is a very straightforward pop song. It's got a cool riff. It's got fun lyrics. It even has that spoken word section toward the end.
Forgot about that.
Yeah. At the same time, it's very clear that Illegal Matter's main melody is ripped off from the Rolling Stones.
The Last Time.
That's the one. This could be the last time.
Yeah.
Yeah. They get away from it by having such clever lyrics and that neener riff. Magic Bus is something that is wholly original and constantly evolving and growing and changing, because on the record it's a fun little acoustic novelty almost. On the stage in the 70s it became almost a chant, you know. It was something elemental and strange, unlike anything that the Who had put out before or since. And then later on, they turned it into a jam where they would randomly go into a skiffle song halfway through, and it would become the Country Line Special, where the bus transmogrifies into a train. And it's, you know, that kind of opportunity for growth that I think puts Magic Bus solidly head and shoulders above Legal Matter.
All right.
It's my way too long exploration for a pretty simple vote.
This is the most I've ever wanted to talk about Magic Bus in my life.
All right.
So moving on to bracket 13, we have Eminence Front from It's Hard versus Baba O'Reilly from Who's Next.
Oh no!
Told ya.
Oh
Like,
jeez.
I asked him, y'all were sure. Garrett, you want to take the reins on this one since Becca's obviously not in the mood?
If I'm gonna do this one, I gotta like think out. I gotta talk my process out loud and then decide.
All right.
Okay, so Eminence Front is probably most well known for being one of the most commercial Who songs. But considering it's going up against Baba O'Reilly, which is one of the most commercial Who songs, kind of cancels that argument. Eminence Front is definitely more cheesy in that it's been used in like Miami Vice, and I've heard it introduce multiple sports teams as the like, this is the slick and cool sports team, unlike the losers and the visitor side. Bob O'Reilly, I kind of want to say is like overplayed, which is rich coming from Eminence Front's point of view. Eminence Front was in GTA 5. I'm waffling so hard on this one, you guys. Oh, no.
Do you need us to come back to you?
Yeah, actually do. I need
All right.
another minute or two.
All right.
All right.
Well, I will pick Baba O'Reilly because I think it packs more of a punch than Eminence Front. Even though Eminence Front has some really cool ideas in the lyrics about, identity and things like that, whereas Baba O'Reilly just feels anthemic. It feels like we're gonna get out of here. There's things that need to change in this setting, and musically, it's so simple, but it packs such a big punch. And I'm gonna give it to Baba O'Reilly. Actually, it's tough, but I'm going to give it to Baba O'Reilly.
All right, good deal. Becca, do you want to share your thoughts?
This hurts my feelings because if there was any post-Moon Who song that I was rooting for 110%, it was Eminence Front. It is hands down like my favorite post-Moon Who song. It's good. Like I just love it so much. But this it's not fair because it's not cut out to survive against Baba O'Reilly. So I pick Baba O'Reilly.
All right, and with that,
I'll also go with Baba O'Reilly for the record because when I look at it at the same time, Eminence Front it leans very heavily into being a Pete Townsend solo song. So it hurts because I also love Eminence Front, but Baba O'Reilly is a Who song, front to back, start to finish. Not just because Keith Moon is on it, because he was alive still, but also because he was like, hey, we should put a violin in here. Let me produce it for you guys. I don't care if it sounds muddy. It's a violin. But that adds to it anyway. So, yeah, Baba O'Reilly, definitely.
Yep. All right, so we are down to the final 3 brackets of the first part of the top 32 Who tournaments.
Let's do it.
So, yes, let's get to it. So, coming in with bracket 14, we have the song 515 from Quadrophenia up against My Wife. And I don't know if that's a single or if that's actually from the album Who's Next.
It is from the album Who's Next. So we got My Wife versus 515. Okay, this should be fun.
I think I'm devastating Becca.
I'm unmuting just to say.
Accurate.
Okay, Book of the Dead, do you want to go first? That's his name. That's what he's got his name as. He's changing his name for every
He
name.
always does this.
I'll go first. Okay. Tough decision, again. All of these are tough decisions. Thank you, Savannah.
You're welcome.
On the one hand, we've got a freaking banger from Pete here with 515. From Quadrophenia, again, just the Who at the height of their powers. We've got, blast and brass, great guitar work, great vocals from Roger. And at the same time, from Who's Next, we have My Wife with its own blast and brass and fantastic vocals from John. I get the feeling this is going to be one of the only John Entwistle songs we see. As far as the more memorable experience, I'm going to go with My Wife.
Mm-hmm.
And not just because I'm a John Entwistle fanboy and he could do no wrong, because he certainly could. But this is his best song that he put out with The Who. So, and 515 is one of many great Pete Townsend songs, but there are some that are better. So proportionally, it works out. That's what I'm telling myself here while I stress eat.
Oh. All right, so that's one vote for My Wife. Tom, which one do you cast your vote for?
Just out of curiosity, what were the rankings for these two songs?
My Wife was at number 21 and 515 at number 30.
You know what? That makes me feel a little bit better because I would also pick My Wife over 515 because I think My Wife just packs more of a musical punch, whereas 515, it takes a little bit to get going, but like once you're in it, once you're on the train, so to speak, like it's a great song to
once the trip goes bad.
It's the trip goes bad. Yes, I would. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Whereas My Wife, it starts and it never stops, and it's also one of the funniest songs that the Who ever did because it's John writing about how he came home to his wife late one night because he was out with another woman. He's playing this, and all I had was just too much to drink. But then all of a sudden, his wife's coming at him with a freaking machine gun. He's like, I'm gonna have to buy a tank and an airplane just to get away from this bitch. And it's just funny. So if 515 is not funny, then again, it's not meant to be funny. But I don't know. My wife just in all those categories.
No, 515 is plenty funny.
In what way?
It's talking about a kid who had too many drugs and he was having a bad trip on a train.
Okay. Well, My Wife makes me giggle more than 515. So I'm going to cast my vote. I'm going to cast my vote for My Wife.
All right. And Becca, do you care to share your thoughts on which one you would have chosen?
I absolutely do, and I would have also gone with My Wife. It's a classic case of, I guess, you doing an amazing job of pitting two similar, like, songs that do the same or a similar thing, and it's which one does it better. And like you guys said, My Wife packs more of a punch. So, final answer.
All right, there we go. So My Wife wins bracket 14, and now we move on to bracket 15. In this bracket, we have I'm One, also from Quadrophenia, going up against Pinball Wizard from Tommy.
Excuse me?
Why you gotta do this? I liked you before.
I can't tell if you're talking to her since she set it up or talking to me since this was my idea. Or both.
Valid.
So yeah, it's pretty valid.
Does anybody care to go first? Can anybody go first?
I guess I'll go first because unlike Garrett in the previous round, I'm going to kind of talk my way through this. So, here's the thing. Pinball Wizard is one of the Who's most iconic songs. I'm One, I think, should be one of their most iconic songs, but it's unfortunately buried on a double album. And Pete loves this song. He's played it even just by himself solo. It's one that's I think it's one that's very personal to him. Also because it's one that he sings. And when you have a whole album where Roger does pretty much all the vocals, but Pete comes in for one or two songs, that means something. So this is like really, really neck and neck. And you know what? Maybe I'm just feeling a bit edgy, but I'm going to give the slight edge to I'm One here over Pinball Wizard because I think I'm One has more to say personally, not just about Pete, but also it fits well with the story. Pinball Wizard, as a great song as it is, it's more told from the story of someone who's not the main character, but the song is a banger. It hits so hard, and whether it's The Who doing it or Elton John doing it, it's a great song all around. My only, I guess, also complaint is that Pinball Wizard has a weird fade out. I'm One is just, I guess, from beginning to end. Maybe I'm a bit edgy. I'm going to go with I'm One.
All right. Good deal.
But it was not easy.
Yeah. All right. Becca, do you have a moment to cast your decision on this?
Absolutely. For those of you keeping score at home, You can't see the video chat, but I'm making banana bread while doing this.
Nice.
We're all
Recipe
eating
should be shared in the comments below.
Becca is super talented, man.
No. This is a tough one because you've got like the high tier, like reigning pinball wizard, like it's like the Who song, to the point where my sweet British indie boys Kaiser Chiefs covered it for when the Olympics were they were in Britain a while ago, right?
Yeah, 2012.
Yeah, like that was like it's that key piece of culture. But I'm One is the better crafted song and like really serves the story, and also I like it better. Because Pinball Wizard has that overplayed kind of to it. So I think I'm gonna go Tom.
All right.
I'm One Edges out over Pinball Wizard. Final answer.
All right. Cool. And Garrett, would you be a rebel and go for Pinball Wizard, or are you for I'm One?
No.
Ooh.
I'm just not going to make a decision on this one. A, because it doesn't matter, and B, because I can't.
Oh, wow. Okay, so I'm One wins bracket 15. All right. Just with 2 votes. Yeah.
And with that said, we come to the last round before we have to pit the ones we've already pitted together in future rounds. So let's do it. Last round.
All right, here we go. For bracket 16, we have I'm Free from Tommy and I Can't Explain from the Who Hits 50.
Well, I don't know about you guys.
It's probably another one of those like odd ones.
It is kind of odd, but I'm just glad that I can make an easy decision here.
Okay, do you want to go first then? Yeah.
Same. That's 3, really.
Yeah.
Right, well, Garrett was first, so we'll let Garrett go.
I feel like we could count to 3 and immediately say the same thing, but it's going to be I Can't Explain.
Oh, I ran over to unmute and be like, 1, 2, 3. You can't explain.
I was so ready, dude. I was so ready.
But yeah, it's to use Becca's reasoning of well-crafted, concise statements of pop songs. You can't beat I Can't Explain. It's simply saying I have strange adolescent feelings inside me, and I can't articulate what exactly it is I'm feeling. And that is a universal truth for anyone, anywhere, whether it's about a romantic interest or looking in at a situation at the world at large that you don't understand. Just not being able to articulate what you want to say is something that everybody can identify with. And it's also just a freaking banger of a song with a really memorable riff, tight harmonies, great musicianship all the way through from guys who are ranging from 17 to 20. It's brilliant, and I'm Free wishes it could be this good.
That's a good point.
All right, so I guess as y'all said that like Becca and Tom, you both would choose I Can't Explain too. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Do either one of you care to add anything else to that?
The only thing that I would say is that I think we mentioned this before, but like I'm Free on the album Tommy, it's kind of plotting, whereas the live versions they really just upped it out, and whereas the studio version it's like, yay, this is nice, I'm free. Where it's live, it's I'm free, and it's just so much better. So with that, the bracket is set to pit these 16 that we have selected against each other.
On to round 2.
Yep. Here we go. Part 2. So in bracket 1, we have Substitute versus I'm One.
Oh boy, starting off strong in round 2. Substitute versus I'm One. Big sigh.
Yeah. Does anybody care to go first? Becca?
Substitute, final answer.
Oh, that one was quick.
Yeah, these ones are going to get weird now that it's like, I mean, now that we're moving on to the second bracket, like they're ones that we pick for their own reasons and their pairings, but I don't know. This one hit a little different. Substitute's the better song.
Nice.
All right.
Tom, your answer?
Becca kind of just summed it up right there. Substitute is indeed the better song. And also, I can't believe I didn't think about this, even though I've already made my decision. But like, if you ever heard the original mix of I'm One, the vocals are very muddy and full of echo. Whereas Substitute, it's bright, it's in your face, you can hear what they're saying, and it's just a powerful statement of just, screw you, you found someone to substitute me. And yeah, as I mentioned before, it's one of the pre-punk songs before punk was even the thing that they didn't even know they created. So Substitute.
All right, good deal. Garrett, care to add in your thoughts?
No comment.
Oh, okay. All right.
There's another one that I can't decide on my own, and I don't need to now.
Yeah. So with that, Substitute wins the first bracket of the second part of this. So it moves on. And now we're moving on to part 2. And this is interesting because in bracket 2, you guys have chosen to compare 2 live songs. So the first one is A Quick One While He's Away versus We're Not Gonna Take It / See Me Feel Me live at Leeds.
The pain
This
continues.
one's just gonna hurt because it's 2 live versions, so it's just like the 2 best ones possible.
Yeah.
So that's why this one's hitting a little different, but I don't know if like the context fully ruins it. How Quick One is its own story, whereas We're Not Gonna Take It is like so inherently linked to the Tommy story that like, I mean, it does stand alone, but just, I don't know if I'm just comparing the performances at this point, which I don't know if that's fair or not, but Quick One has so many better changes.
Just go with your gut feeling, right?
Yep, I'm going with, oh no, here comes the clock. Yes.
Well, we got a reasoning anyway, so I think we're good.
All right, good
So
deal.
many
good deal.
interruptions.
Yeah, I know. Okay, Garrett, your stance on the matter?
Come back to me.
All right.
I hate doing this, being the third guy again, but come back to me.
It's okay. That moves on to you, Tom.
Becca made some really good points about We're Not Going to Take It. While it could stand alone, it does benefit from knowing the Tommy story, and A Quick One is a contained story. I'm also going to pick A Quick One, and also A Quick One, that performance is just fun to listen to. Not saying that We're Not Going to Take It isn't fun, but A Quick One is so much fun. Like when I listen to it, like I listen for like little things, like John's bass slide down right before We'll Soon Be Home section, or right before Ira the engine driver. Pete does this like, here comes Ira the dirty sooty engine driver, make you feel all right. And you can hear someone say something like that. Like I can't tell what he's saying, but it's just fun. And you can tell they're having a blast. Plus the video for that is great. Pete's jumping, Keith's smashing his equipment. I know we're not talking about video, but for fun alone and for a self-contained story, I'm going to go with A Quick One.
Yeah, now you mention it, thinking about it, if I were to take the isolated tracks after, if they were to play a live set that had both We're Not Going to Take It Sweet and A Quick One, I would be cheering harder after A Quick One. So that gets my vote as well.
All right, so A Quick One While He's Away, it moves on to the next round. Good deal.
You are all forgiven.
Da, da. All right. And now we're moving on to bracket 3. And in this one, we've got Blue, Red, and Gray versus Sparks.
2 songs that could not be more different from each other.
Oh, man, Becca is having a hard time.
Becca, whatever you do not cry into your bowl of banana bread that you're mixing.
Oh, boy. We can go back to you if you like. Yeah. Garrett?
Yeah,
do you
okay.
care to...
There's a lot of gut feeling happening right now. And my gut says to go with Sparks.
Ooh.
As much as I adore Blue, Red, and Gray, the Sparks is one that it's such a fucking jam, you guys. Like, there's nothing that compares to it. Yeah, Sparks takes it.
Nice. Good deal. Tom, Your thoughts?
Yeah, watch my thoughts be totally the opposite. I'm going with blue, red, and gray on this one, to be
Oh
honest.
boy.
Which I'm sorry, Becca. I know that means you have to
I'm
make
really
it. I know that means you have to make a decision, but I will not apologize. I am choosing.
And is there any reason
Yeah.
behind going?
Yeah, so I'm picking blue, red, and gray over Sparks because while I still stand by Sparks tells a story with no music, blue, red, and gray tells a setting, like a life story or what's going on in this person's life with lyrics. And with such sparse instrumentation, just a ukulele and some brass, it doesn't need to be a heavy sound. And it's just so nice to listen to. I still stand by there are some parts of the song that seem a little too personal to me, like the line about I even shunned the south of France. To me, I don't relate to that because I don't get that. But if it makes sense to Pete, then by all means, it makes sense to him. But it's just, you listen to it, and this man is just, telling it like it is. And, I do this, my life could be better, but I like every minute of the day. And Sparks is, it tells a story without lyrics, but blue, red, and gray tells a story with lyrics. I'm going blue, red, and gray.
All right then. So we've got one for blue, red, and gray, and one for Sparks. So Becca is the deciding vote.
Tom brought up some very good points. And if we're talking about like a crafted song, then like in the more traditional sense of the word, blue, red, and gray is the better crafted song. It absolutely paints a picture and captures a feeling perfectly, I think. So blue, red, and gray.
All right. So blue, red, and gray wins that round. And I'm going to write it in real quick. So got that written down. So moving on to bracket 4. This may be another weird one for you guys, so I apologize. In this one, we have Love Reign Over Me versus Getting in Tune.
2 piano songs. Oh boy.
Okay, I know my vote already.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, predictably, it's Love Reign Over Me. As the best song that The Who ever made, that anybody has ever made. So, fight me.
Anybody care to accept that challenge, or does anybody else want to go with Love Reign Over Me?
Becca's indicating that she agrees with me.
Okay.
Yeah, and since what I say doesn't matter, but I honestly would have picked Love Reign Over Me anyway. As much as I love Getting in Tune, Love Reign Over Me just does pack more of a punch and just, it's just so good. So sorry, Getting in Tune. I gave you one vote, but Love Reign Over Me is gonna win this one.
All right. Well, that was unanimous. So now we move on to bracket 5. In this one, we have My Generation versus I Can See for Miles.
I was like, oh, the last round, since we all decided so easy, maybe this will be the same. Nope, this one actually is a little hard for me.
I got this one on lock, though.
Okay, Garrett.
My Generation wins it. Easy.
Cool.
Again, like I said, I Can See for Miles has always been one that's like, yeah, it's pretty good for me. And My Generation is such, we've used the word statement so many times talking about it, but The Who have actually said, like, yeah, this is our theme song. So, yeah, My Generation. Because I Can See for Miles doesn't have a badass bass solo.
Cool. Ooh, Becca, do you have your answer?
I'm going to agree with Garrett. I like tying back to the points before about cultural significance and making a statement, and it combines the grit that sets I Can See for Miles apart with the well-crafted song. So it has the big picture.
Good deal. Tom, even though this My Generation wins, would you like to add your thoughts on the matter?
I might have actually given the slight edge so I Can See for Miles, but then the more I think about it, I Can See for Miles wouldn't exist if My Generation didn't exist. And plus, you guys already picked it anyway, so I'm not disappointed. So My Generation moves on.
And I Can See for Miles does not, on a more serious note, what it doesn't have that My Generation has. The line, I hope I die before I get old. Can't be understated how awesome that is to hear that on a record the first time when you're a kid.
The more you guys are talking about my generation, the more I regret initially picking I Can See from Miles, but it's already been picked, so let's just move on.
Okay.
But I might have given
There's
this.
nothing wrong with your decision. It's just
I
that you got
know.
outvoted.
I
Yeah,
know.
it's okay, man. You can be wrong. It's all right.
I've been wrong before.
All right. So now we move on to bracket 6. So here we go. Song number 1 is You Better You Bet. Song number 2 is I Can't Explain.
The
Oh,
hurt,
boy.
the hurt
I struck a
returns.
nerve.
Becca's face.
I can't explain.
Oh, yeah?
Absolutely.
Cool deal.
Absolutely.
Any particular reason? Is it just overall the better song, or?
It comes in guns a-blazing with that riff just like stripped down and then the rest of the instrumentation coming back in after it like punches in its point. Like it's, yeah. You Better You Bet is like, they're both good pop songs, but one just like has that little bit of an edge.
Cool. All right.
I'm falling in with Becca on this one.
Yeah, I Can't Explain.
Yeah, because like I said, I Can't Explain is such a universal message, and You Better You Bet is much more personal, but also it can be pretty vague. Stuff with lines like, I came in late one night with a neon light for a visa. I was like, what? What's that supposed to mean? I Can't Explain is just so simple, straight to the point, and also has a higher energy to it. So yeah, I Can't Explain.
Even though the song has won, do you have your thoughts?
Yeah, just I would make it unanimous and say I Can't Explain. You Better You Bet. It loses a little bit of points because one, I Can't Explain is like the perfect 2-minute or 2.5-minute single, whereas You Better You Bet does verge on going on a bit too long.
I disagree with that.
Okay, all right. Well, anyway, I think I Can't Explain just packs more of a punch in terms of what it's trying to say. You Better You Bet is it is a little vague. I will agree with that. And also, when you look at the lyric sheets, when they get to the line about, the sound of old T-Rex and who's next is capitalized. So they're talking about the album itself.
Yeah, wink, wink.
Wink, wink. So it does have that matter like, okay, guys, all right. Whereas I Can't Explain, there's nothing to roll your eyes about. But You Better You Bet, such a good song. But yeah, it's I Can't Explain. We'll get my vote as well. So unanimous.
All right. There we go. Just wrote it down. So now we move on to bracket 7. In this round, we've got Magic Bus versus My Wife. How about we change things up? Tom, are you up to going first?
I suppose. Yeah, I suppose. Magic Bus versus My Wife. You know what? I gave Magic Bus the edge over A Legal Matter, but I'm gonna give My Wife the edge over Magic Bus because Magic Bus is fun, but it is really silly. Whereas My Wife is silly, but it's silly because it's funny. And whereas Magic Bus is it's a goofy time. My Wife is a serious matter, but we're making something funny out of it. And only John can do that. And plus, it's just such a rocking song. Magic Bus is fun, but My Wife's a rocker. I'm going with My Wife.
All right, cool deal.
I'm also going to go with My Wife.
Nice.
Just,
For any other reason besides what Tom said, or?
Agreeing with Tom's reasons, and also we know my general feeling about Magic Bus.
Yeah, I know.
I was looking at this and being like, gee, a song that Becca doesn't particularly like going up against her second favorite Who member.
Yeah, not really, not all that fair.
No contest.
No contest.
Yeah.
And is the same true for you, Garrett? Like, would you have also gone with My Wife?
I don't know. This Magic Bus is so weird and different and fun. And sing-alongable. No, I'm not going to vote on this one.
All right. So in bracket 8, we have Who Are You versus Baba O'Reilly.
Just dead silence from all of us.
All the CSI songs going head-to-head in this no holds
Which I
barred.
completely forgot. Like, it's like I kind of knew they were. It's just like I didn't know specifics.
Going head-to-head in this no holds barred, like, cage match in the mud. Yeah, all right. I'm going with Who Are You on this one.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right. So that's 2 for Who Are You? Any reason? Like what does it do different than Baba O'Reilly in your opinion?
It's not as overplayed as Baba O'Reilly. That's the big thing, but also like, it takes me on more of a journey emotionally.
All right. Tom, do you have any thoughts on the matter?
I mean, I would have picked Bob O'Reilly, but it doesn't matter.
Oh, really? Why?
Yeah, I honestly would have. Bob O'Reilly does pack more of a punch to me personally, and it's just more musically interesting, in my opinion, than Who Are You, which is weird because Bob O'Reilly has like the same 3 chords. So it's a weird statement to say, but I don't know. It's just, it packs its punch, but Who Are You does have a really nice, like, identity message. Bob O'Reilly does more tell of a story. So I can see why you guys would pick Who Are You. I would have picked Bob O'Reilly, but I'm not upset that Who Are You wins.
All right. And let's get started with part 3. So let's see what happens. So in bracket 1, we have My Generation versus I Can't Explain.
Ooh. Becca looks offended that you would ask her to compare these 2. How dare you?
I'm not sure she's the only one who's offended. I was like, these are literally like the first 2 songs they ever like did. Oh, man.
Anybody feel like they like at least made half of a decision?
I have like half of a decision. Maybe the more I talk it through, I'll build it to a whole decision.
Okay, so you go first, Tom.
Okay, so I Can't Explain versus My Generation. It's a classic case. Both are good, but like they just got better. So from that alone, I'm gonna go with My Generation, and also just because only the Who could sing My Generation. Because looking in hindsight, it's like, yeah, that is what the Who's about. They're just these mods on pills. They can't explain how they feel. They put a pulse on the generation, but then put an even bigger pulse on My Generation. So I'm going with My Generation.
All right. Cool deal. Becca, to you.
So, like, you keep reusing the same phrase forever. For those of you keeping score at home, on the video screen, muted, I just, like, gave, like, the
Solid,
most
affirming
solid,
nod.
like, stink face white people nod of all time. Kind of like, you know what? Okay. Like, yeah. Cultural impact still does play a key part, and that's really been giving My Generation the edge, so.
Yeah.
All right, so these 2 songs are about universal truths, and I think that I can sum up how I feel about this in like one sentence that encompasses both songs. I don't know what I'm talking about, but f*** the man.
Yeah.
My Generation wins.
All right. Yes. Yes, indeed. Fuck the man.
Becca's like concert cheering over there.
Yes. She's like, you hit it, man. All right. So My Generation wins bracket 1. So moving on to bracket 2 of part 3 of this tournament, we have Substitute versus My Wife.
Just stares. This is the round that should just be called all stares.
Just so much rage.
Yeah.
I have no mouth, but I must scream.
Yeah. Yeah.
Heck.
Yeah, I'm feeling the same.
Yeah.
2 songs that are not that too dissimilar if you really think about it.
Yeah.
So which one is the better song?
Do you want to go first then, Tom?
Since
you're already asking the question.
Yeah, since I'm asking the question, I'm kind of like forming my thoughts. Unless Garrett's got something.
I have a decision.
Oh, okay. Let's hear it.
I'll go with My Wife.
Nice.
And not just because I want to see John Entwistle do well in this bracket. I would much rather go back and listen to any version of My Wife over any version of Substitute, personally.
Cool. Going by that logic, I'm going to have to pick Substitute.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Just the never-ending point that keeps coming out of my mouth of perfectly crafted song. I mean, like, My Wife has the great use of humor as a songwriting tool and tells a very fun story that really highlights John's amazing skill as a songwriter of taking super morbid themes, like straight up being hunted down to be murdered, like which then goes on in more of his explorations and songwriting into his solo career. It's like a beautiful textbook example of that. But Substitute has the clever lyrics, has the memorable melody, has the memorable riff. It's just all around, instead of me falling into a similar trap to Garrett and just really rooting for John more than anything.
Man, you guys have got me racking my brain over here for all the reasons you just mentioned. Like, point to Garrett for saying that, my wife has become something like such a rockin' song. And Substitute, it does feel like it kind of lost a little something over time, especially with the way they would shorten it and play it live.
And not even with the shortening. Like, sometimes I would listen to later live versions. I'd be like, really rather be listening to my wife right now.
But also points to it being funny. But Substitute, Becca's also dead on about it's such a well-crafted song, and it is clever in the lyrics and funny if you really look into it. My wife has more surface level humor, or Substitute you have to kind of dig into it. You know what? I feel like My Wife more captures of what John's about, and Substitute's more about what the Who are more about. So I'm sorry, John. I'm going to give the edge to Substitute. It does not get any easier, believe me.
Oh, of course not.
Yeah, so hold on. With that, Substitute moves on to the next round. We apologize, My Wife. You put up a good fight.
Take my wife, please.
Yes. All right.
Old joke checks out.
All right. So now moving on to bracket 3. We've got Blue, Red, and Gray versus Love Reign Over Me.
I knew this was going to be a one that was going to be difficult. Love Reign Over Me versus Blue, Red, and Gray. Okay. All right.
Not hard for me.
Yeah, I know.
I can't believe we gotta go Old Yeller, I can't believe we got Old Yeller, Blue, Red, and Gray like this. This is
Oh boy.
we really just gotta take it out to the backyard and shoot it. It came as far as it could. Like,
Yeah.
So does that mean you would choose Love Reign Over Me, Becca?
like hands down, unfortunately, which feels so mean and cruel to say about such a beautiful, lovely little song. But that's just it. It's a beautiful, lovely little song up against a monster. It's like putting a little kitten in a cage match with a leopard. Like, it's
no contest.
Yeah.
No contest.
See,
at Nintendo, please don't sue.
Oh boy.
See, you see this as Old Yeller. I see this as the end of Mice and Men.
Oh
my God.
We're just leaving Blue, Red, and Gray on the island?
As Lenny. No. You shoot him in the back of the head while he's not looking.
Well, he's talking about a better place.
You did such a good job, buddy. Just go to the happy place now.
Which is so bizarre since that song is about finding a happy place.
Yeah.
All right. So, Garrett, you would also choose Love Reign Over Me?
Oh, yeah. All right. Like, it's gonna be, like, spoiler alert, anytime Love Reign Over Me comes up, I'm gonna vote for it. So.
All right. So, Tom, what are your thoughts on the matter? Even though Love Reign Over Me is won, would you have also chosen that, or would you have gone with Blue, Red, and Gray?
No, I would have picked it. And honestly, for the first time this entire game, I don't have any follow-up comments. Just go ahead and pick it.
All right, then. So with that, we move on to the final bracket of part 3, which includes a quick one while he's away versus Who Are You?
Ooh. This is a really hard one. Because this is the Who at two very different parts of their lives, as their career. It's just it's tough to beat the Rock and Roll Circus performance. It's tough to beat a song that's 10 minutes long and has a variety of structures. And Who Are You is still great, man. Like, there's something I can't put into words quite about it. I think I'm going to go with a quick one. Because I remember when they played both of those songs the last time I went to see The Who in 2015. And I cheered harder for Quick One because I wasn't expecting it.
That was a good moment.
Nice. All right, so that's one for a quick one while he's away. Tom, what say you?
You know, this one actually is not that hard for me. I would pick a quick one over Who Are You for the big reason that between the two, I feel like the band contributes more to a quick one than Who Are You. Just me personally. If you ever hear Pete Townshend's demo of Who Are You, there are a lot of elements that made it into the final version. So it's like, Pete presented this demo and then the band, kind of just does their thing on top of it. Whereas a quick one, it felt like the band built it up. They do everything. Keith's got really powerful drumming on it. John has his, moments as Ivor the engine driver, and Roger has his great moments singing. Pete's got his great moments singing. A quick one feels more like a band performance over Who Are You, in my opinion. So I'll pick that one.
All right. And Becca, do you have any thoughts? Would you have also chosen a quick one?
So this was a really tough and weird matchup for me to consider because of how vastly different they are.
Yeah.
And while like primal, like monkey music brain is like, Who Are You good? Who Are You loud and fun? I like bringing up the points that you guys did really is, sorry, I'm like mashing bananas while I'm saying this.
No problem.
Like you guys bring up really good points about a quick one being a full piece and being a fun piece of music and something that really was just a full band effort rather than, all right, here's the track, boom, boom, done. While it is just a good, absolute anthemic jam, no nonsense rock song, like quick one shows what the Who were really capable of. So that is more impressive. So after much thought and hearing other opinions presented and shutting primal monkey brain up that wants to be like loud, I like sounds good.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think a big, just one final thing I can kind of think of that sums it up for me is that Who Are You is a good day trip, but a quick one is a whole journey.
It's a whole trip. That's a really good way to put it.
All right, so
I'm getting really nervous now.
yeah, I should, because now we're getting down to it. So we're in part 4, and we have 4 songs in 2 brackets. So let's get to it. So
Semifinals.
Yep, semifinals. Let's go. So in bracket 1, we have My Generation versus A Quick One While He's Away.
Ouch.
Yep.
Do you like this decision, Savannah? I made it with my tears.
Just go to the happy place.
I
Go to the happy place. Look at the flowers.
I can't. Blue, red, and gray's already gone.
Look at the flowers. We're gonna have to hold the other quick one.
I think
That's
so.
My decision is it's on the chopping block. My generation
so.
is out.
Yeah, me too.
So Becca, you vote for My Generation?
Yep.
All right.
Same.
Cool. Yeah, Garrett, same for My Generation.
Mm-hmm.
And same for me. I know we kept mentioning a quick one being the performance from the Rock and Roll Circus because we don't care that the actual list states the studio version. But even just going by studio versions alone, My Generation hands down wins.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, okay.
Even if you took the best versions of each, whether that's your personal favorite version of My Generation, whatever it happens to be, versus the Rock and Roll Circus version of a quick one, nope, still doesn't cut it. My Generation wins.
All right. I don't know how you guys are going to feel about this next one, but here we go. So in bracket 2, we've got Substitute versus Love Reign Over Me.
I mean,
the 2 songs that Becca has been championing, easily winning over everything else. And I just see her face, and she's like, I don't want to do this, you guys.
Oh, God.
What did we get ourselves into?
Yeah.
So does that mean, Tom, Garrett, do you guys,
It's Love Reign Over Me.
Either of you want to start?
It's Love Reign Over Me for me.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I mean, can't top it.
This is really hard for me. I mean, I know how much we all love Love Reign Over Me, but I also know how much Becca and I really love Substitute. I'm not saying that you don't love it, Garrett, but since you already made your pick.
Yeah.
This is...
No takesies, backsies.
I know, no takesies, backsies. Ow. Like, I feel like no matter what decision I make, it's going to hurt. I'm like Sophie's choicing these 2 so hard.
Yeah.
Wow. I guess I need to talk it through again. Becca, do you have anything to say while I work this out, or do you need time as well?
No. Absolutely not.
Okay. All right.
Nope. No.
Like you just don't want to make the decision.
A little bit of both.
A little bit of both. All right. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll take about a minute, and if I can't come to a decision, then I guess we'll kind of just go forward with Love Reign Over Me. But I really got to think about this because Substitute and Love Reign Over Me are both great band performances. And what I mentioned earlier about Who Are You being a Pete Townsend demo that he's presented to the band. If you ever heard Pete Townsend's demo of Love Reign Over Me, it has quite a lot that's still left in it. Props to Glenn Johns, by the way, for just go ahead and incorporating that. I'm not saying they should have abandoned the demo, but Substitute feels like it was more built from the ground up. We have heard Pete's demo of Substitute, but it's very raw.
I mean, the really all they took from the demo of Love Reign Over Me was the piano intro, right?
But yeah, but that's like the first minute and a half of the song.
Yeah, but that's not the bulk of the song. That's what I'm saying.
But to me, I will still count the intro as part of the song because, like, as soon as that plays, you know what's coming, even though the song hasn't quote started yet. Like it's like the little prelude. So to me, I have to count it. Like I know, like technically the song.
I'm not saying don't. I'm not telling you to discount it. It's just one of the things that makes this song fantastic for me. Like honestly, if Love Reign Over Me were nothing but the piano lament at the beginning, I would still probably give it the edge over most of these songs here.
It is really powerful, and it does lead into the song, which, you know, does start off, you know, sort of gentle, but you're already into it because of the intro, and it just builds from there. Keith's drums are very powerful, so is Pete's guitar, which I think is actually underrated in that song.
In which song?
In Love Reign Over Me. It's not talked about as much.
I agree.
But you know what? I might just have to give the edge to Love Reign Over Me because as much as I've been talking and hyping up Substitutes, Love Reign Over Me just simply would not exist without Pete writing all of these great songs like Substitutes. And you are right. While the first half of the song is in Pete's demo, that is not the whole song, but it's a prelude. And by the time you get to the end, it doesn't end where it began like Substitutes, but it ends differently, and it's a journey. I'm going with Love Reign Over Me. Not easy, as you can tell. I was like the longest idea I ever had to form in my head. But
yeah, you had to convince yourself there, dude.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, not getting easier. I've been defending Substitute this whole time, and Love Reign Over Me, but putting them against each other, I gotta pick one. Love Reign Over Me is my pick.
I'm gonna have to agree. It's a tough choice, but I mean, like you said, Substitute ends where it began, and it's a well-crafted pop song, but Love Reign Over Me is the better crafted song because it takes you on that journey. Like, you're putting, quote unquote, a good song against a masterpiece. And that's a tough call. Yeah, tough call to make, but.
We all say tough call, but looking at our final two, as if I could not hurt any more.
Oh no. All aboard the pain train, baby boys.
We all knew it was coming.
Yep, so here we are, the fifth and final round of the Top 32 Who tournament. So here we go. The first song is My Generation, and the second song is Love Reign Over Me. Two vastly different songs from two different albums, but they have made it this far. Yeah.
Well, I know where I'm going.
Let's get to it.
I know where I'm going.
Oh, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Garrett's just got to stick with his gut.
Yeah. And I'm going to go with Love Reign Over Me.
All right.
Because this is a song that gets to me on such an emotional level that it is very hard for me to listen to it without crying every time. I get at least goosebumps every time I hear it.
Becca, what say you?
I'm going to have to disagree. I'm going to have to disagree. I'm going to say on this long-winded, ridiculous journey of pitting all of these staples of like music history against each other, on the opposite end of the spectrum, instead of making me cry, I'm going to like add some personal notes here that probably shouldn't sway this in any way, but I guess attest to the power of this song and like some of the weirdest, bleakest, depressive episodes where like feeling kind of goes away. That raw and primal almost rage in My Generation was like one of the first things I could remember feeling again. And it's like that almost kind of feeling of chills, that almost tears of, oh my God, like there's feeling in the world. You know, it captures energy. and it's not going away anytime soon. It holds true today with all the millennials are given for, like, I hope I die before I end up like a boomer. Like that kind of that feeling of rebellion, that feeling of like we want to do one better. We want change, like that message has not gone away. And it shakes you to your core like friggin' 50, almost 60 years later. So there you go.
All right. So that is one vote for My Generation and one vote for Love Reign Over Me.
Hey,
so Tom, as the host of this show, you have the deciding vote. And I wish you guys could see Becca. She is just, oh man.
All right. Well, on that note, we're gonna leave this game as a tie. Good night, everyone. Thanks for joining in. And
don't you dare!
No.
You better pussy up and take this on.
Yes. No, you're absolutely right. Listening to the two of you speak so passionately about both of these songs was so great to hear, because I feel like, honestly, either one should be crowned winner, but only one has to be.
There can be only one.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think it's really appropriate that these two are top two, because it's like the things that the Who are most known for is being introspective and also being loud, proud, and you, I am who I am.
Mm-hmm.
When you phrase it like that, looking at the two songs from all sorts of different categories, Love Reign Over Me has the longing for love, and even just the longing for life, because there are theories going around about what really happens at the end of Quadrophenia. I know Pete said that the main character doesn't die, but that doesn't stop plenty from people from thinking he does. And the water image is also kind of symbolic of like a rebirth. My Generation has rage. So does Love Reign Over Me. Love Reign Over Me is specific about one person, the character, but you can still take it out of context. That's not an issue whatsoever. My Generation is universal. It's for everyone. He's not just singing about like me, I feel this way. It's no, me and everyone else. My Generation, are you listening? It's all of us. And we're all feeling the same things. And we can listen to go, yeah. And Love Reign Over Me, you can get the same thing, but it might take you a few listens, because it is part of a larger story. With all of that said, I am going to give the vote to My Generation, as tough as it is. The winner is My Generation.
Yes, My Generation is this group's top Who song.
But real quick though, can we talk about the losers of the semifinals and decide on a third place?
Oh yes, of course. Yes, because My Generation would be first place. Love Reign Over Me is a nice second. And yes, I think it's fair to give like a third and fourth. So in the semifinals, we eliminated A Quick One, While He's Away, and Substitute.
It's like a little bonus round. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So like it's
my answer.
Ooh.
I think I do. Pretty sure. Becca, are you Substitute?
Yep.
Yeah.
So wait,
That's
Substitute is
interesting.
a third place?
That's what Becca wants.
This is what I want.
And what Becca wants is law, as it is known.
Typically.
Yeah. Call me a rebel, because I'm going with a quick one here.
Ooh, okay.
Okay, I see how it is.
Oh wow! So we got A Quick One versus Substitute for a third place. Again, like my mind is still set on like what is the best of the best, but we've already decided that it's My Generation. So I gotta say like no, what's third place? What's the bronze medal? So A Quick One While He's Away or Substitute.
Yeah, that's right. Third would be bronze, and fourth would be like what, participant, honorable mention.
Honorable mention.
Participant trophy. Oh man.
And it's a weird bracket when Won't Get Fooled Again gets a participant ribbon and nothing else.
Oh.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, wow. So Substitute versus A Quick One. Like a part of me wants to just say like it's the third place, doesn't matter, but we're deciding it, so I gotta pick something. Wow. So the last time I'll talk something through, because this is the last round. Substitute, great theme overall. Quick One, a great story overall. I would say both grew with live performances, but Substitute did diminish in quality because of how they would shorten it. But they would still, bring it back occasionally. The only thing I'm thinking that might hurt a Quick One is, again, going back to their sources, the Quick One studio version is very choppy. Then again, it was literally spliced together. And I know we keep talking about the circus version, and to be fair, that's the version to focus on.
Yeah. All the live versions of Quick One are cool, though. Like, even the one they did for live in the studio at BBC has really nice harmonies in the last movement.
Yeah, I keep forgetting about that version.
Yeah, a lot of people do.
So in that case, they both have pros and cons. So it's really tough to pick. But I am, in terms of I keep saying Better Who's song, but that just puts you right back to square one. All right, you know what, Savannah? I know that you're not voting, and we've already kind of essentially made the list. But given those two songs, do you have anything to add that could possibly help me make up my mind? Just because it's a bonus round. Just what the hell?
Yeah. I don't know if I can really say that much, only because I have listened to a Quick One while he's away more than Substitute. It kind of sticks out a bit more to me than Substitute. But like I said, that's just because I haven't listened to Substitute more. I'm sure had I listened to it more, my opinion may be different, but yeah.
All right. Then I guess with a little bit of influence, then my pick would be a Quick One. Going back to another point I made earlier about it's more of a band performance. You can hear all the band members doing it their all, especially in the Rock and Roll Circus version and other versions, where Substitute, the whole band is playing. You cannot deny that. But take, for example, John. John's more audible in a Quick One because you can hear the bass slide. You can hear him play the riff. Dun, 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 dun. Whereas Substitute, he's there because he's part of the band. But, hell, John didn't make it this far with My Wife. So you know what? I'll give him the edge and say that a Quick One gets third place because everyone is on it and you can hear them all, damn it.
Yes.
All right, so with that, a Quick One while he's away gets third, and Substitute gets fourth place.
Cool.
But again, not bad. Honestly, looking at these four, I'm glad that these four made it because, damn, these are good ones, and they deserve to be in the top four, even if we still have to rank all four of them.
Yeah.
It's a good winner's circle up here.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know about you guys, but my heart is beyond racing.
Yeah, this was, I did not anticipate how much acid reflux this was going to give me.
God.
So, really, any final thoughts on our listings before we go ahead and wrap this up?
I just want to say that I'm just glad I could do a good job and just stir up as many emotions, good or bad, spark debate. It makes me feel like I did a good job, and then I did what I was supposed to do, and then I made this fun. So
you really did. Let's all give a round of applause. And any listeners who are listening, give a round of applause to Savannah for putting this list together. It was so much fun, and congrats on tearing us apart with these such great pairings.
You're welcome.
Hurt so bad.
Hurt so bad.
It's so good.
I was gonna say it probably hurt so good anyway.
Big hurt.
But very good job. It's so much better than just saying here's 1 versus 16, 2 versus 15, because in any other given circumstance, Won't Get Fooled Again would have likely made it to the top 10. But when you do it this way, it's a challenge, and we as Who fans need to be challenged. So way to go, Savannah. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And thank you guys for asking me to do this. And also, like I said, just for providing such great commentary on all the songs and just having a blast with this. It was fun.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. So, listeners, we hope it was fun for you to listen to. Thank you so much for joining us. And I hope it was a nice, fun way to spend the quarantine time, if that's still going on when you're listening. So, please stay safe. But please, connect with your friends just like we did, and have some fun like we did. So,
and please comment. What's your favorite Who song of the ones we talked about today? We'd love to hear your thoughts.
Interact with us, please.
Please interact with us.
I miss people.
Please interact with us, and also feel free to say if there were any of our points that you strongly disagree. We take any and all comments, preferably good ones. So leave all that down below. Thank you so much for listening. This has been a lot of fun. And with that, we are going to wrap this up. My Generation, #1 Who song. Thank you all so much for listening. So with that, my name is Tom Urrutia. Joining me has been Garrett Hicks.
Bye, y'all.
Becca Cristino.
Later, skaters.
And Savannah Valdez.
Bye.
Thank you all so much for listening. Stay safe. Have a great rest of your day listening to this. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Beautiful.
Hell yeah.
There we go.
I missed you.
I missed me too.
We missed you being, not just you, Becca, but we missed you being the Keith Moon of the group, just doing all sorts of wacky tacky behind the
See,
camera.
this is what it is, you know? It always comes out like that. I mean, my behaviors have only gotten more risky and illegal as time has progressed in this in this podcast's existence.
All right. So with that, I'm just going to go quick run through just to make sure that I've circled all the songs that I've added into the first part, just real quick. So for bracket 1 was Substitute, came out the winner. Bracket 2, A Quick One While He's Away. Bracket 3, Blue, Red, and Gray. Bracket 4, Love Reign Over Me. Bracket 5, My Generation. 6 was I Can't Explain. 7 was My Wife. And bracket 8 was Who Are You?
That's correct. And hearing all those backlinks, we think, great, now we got to pit these together.
Yep. And let's get started with part 3.
Yeah.
All right, here we
Meanwhile,
go.
really proud of John for making it this far in our bracket. Good on him.
Good on you, John.
We'll take a break.
That's
All
good.
right.
I can make my banana bread very quickly.
There you go.
Yes.
All right, that'll
Oh,
give
no
us time.
chocolate chips too?
Oh yeah, chocolate chip banana bread's the move, especially
Oh,
since
hell yeah.
that's like the power move.
Cool deal.